I would like to address with Dietrich some frequently asked questions that previously we got from people. And, if you are open to additional questions that there are different that those that we're presenting with you, please ask. But I want to make sure that within an hour, as I promised, we will be done. So the question typically that is being asked and was asked is collagen is not a quality protein. So should we focus on a better protein sources? I feel like, Dietrich, you've elaborated on it quite a lot, that the whey protein in itself, especially post-workout, if you want to take care of your connective tissue health, it would be wise to mix the whey protein with collagen to gain the full amino acid spectrum, to not just support your muscles and not to deplete the glycine, that actually tendons are 40% made of glycine. So you do want to have the collagen protein. And if you choose to add additional plant protein, you can also do that. But remember, that's something we address in our further courses, how much and what do you need to eat if you are a plant-based eater versus a vegetarian or a meat eater. Dietrich, would you like to add anything into that?
Yeah, and just going off of plant-based proteins, I can't help but mention the Consumer Labs report that showed that plant-based proteins are so much more likely to have contamination with heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, and things like that. So I don't want to scare anybody away from taking a protein supplement, but do be sure to check those certifications. Those quality certifications are important for that reason. But yeah, I mean, I hear this all the time, that collagen doesn't provide all of the essential amino acids. It's missing tryptophan. And so, yes, that means you cannot survive on only collagen. But what the research has shown in the past, 10 and 20 years is that there's a lot more nuance to the discussion than just getting your essential amino acids. There's so many conditionally essential amino acids that you do need more of if you've been injured, or if you are aging, or if you have some sort of metabolic demand for it. And so even though collagen doesn't have a optimal PDCAAS score, it still is comparable in terms of muscle protein synthesis in head-to-head trials. And one study by Christina Paul in 2019 showed that 1/3 of your baseline protein intake can be collagen amino acids without depleting those essential amino acids. And this shows that it's not an either or kind of situation, it's a both and. In what cases do you need collagen and how much do you need? You can get at least 1/3 of your protein intake from collagen without posing any sort of risk.
Yeah, very valuable addition there. And I want to make sure that, few of the questions were addressed very well throughout this lecture. And the one that maybe wasn't, because we gave a spectrum from 2.5 to 20 grams of collagen, right? And the typically asked question, and we've got this before, is there too much of, could it be possible to overdose in a way with collagen? Is there such a thing as too much collagen, right? And I think you would agree with me, Dietrich, that, everything has its own balance. And there is also the fact that collagen is pretty new into a science in a way, looking at different superfoods that are being tested and have been tested for way, way longer than collagen. We should base our statements of what we know, what we think, or what we feel. And in this case, I would say, staying in the between the 2.5 to 20 grams per dose, it's a very safe place, especially that's what science shows us. And we've explained and actually gave you several cases that really support that amount. But I also have to say, again, bringing myself as a former athlete, coach who worked with professional athletes, and now a creator of supplements, we know that the professional athletes who consume Resync take our product before to support connective tissue health, and also after. Like we said, the glycine depletion in the muscle is huge, and also other connective tissues are massively made of the amino acid glycine and also the collagen. I presented to you that every layer needs it. So therefore, we're being told by the strength coaches or registered dietitians that athletes take a 1 scoop, particularly of Resync, before 1 hour before the training, and also immediately after the training. So what that equals to is 30 grams, because Resync has 15 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides with the vitamin C, copper, red spinach, beets, aronia, and other ingredients. So I think we do need to stay truthful here to what science tells us. And I truly believe there are people that are going to experiment, as we all do, with ourselves and our boundaries, right? What we can do versus what we should. And also we need to be very respectful of the fact that and acknowledge and appreciate that each one of us is different. And each one of us, depending on our background and our physicality, our age, and our physical needs, will need maybe more than someone who has a sedentary lifestyle. Would you agree with me, Dietrich?
Yeah, definitely. Going back to the statement, if you have a high level of physical activity, then you're going to have a high level of collagen turnover. Being able to support that optimally is going to help your performance. It's going to help your recovery, and it's going to help your long-term health in terms of injury prevention.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And then when it comes to the collagen comparison with other protein supplements, we've mentioned that, initially when Dietrich went into what amino acids are needed for collagen to be made are different levels, and there are 4 particular amino acids that are very high and are the highest in collagen. Dietrich, do you want to dive a little bit more into that for a second?
Yeah. In terms of question 3 here, how collagen supplements compare with others?
It's just specifically about the 4 amino acids that are, really having a higher level in collagen, hydrolyzed collagen, than any other, protein, especially whey protein.
Definitely. Yeah. So first off, the one that I mention always first is that collagen provides those preformed peptides, those 3 amino acids that are joined together that you literally cannot get anywhere else. And those are hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine. And these, we won't get into the details of what it does, but it essentially allows the structure of collagen to exist. Without those amino acids, it just wouldn't work right. And so besides those 2, hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine, collagen is also providing exceptional levels of glycine. There is no protein that I'm aware of that provides a higher dose of glycine. I think many other protein sources, you need to take 10 times as much in order to get that level of glycine. And then there's the other minor amino acids, things like proline, things like lysine, things like arginine, which have all of these really important effects individually. And then when you combine them all together, they synergize to create that anti-inflammatory stimulus that allows you to build up that collagen. So those peptides, those hydroxyproline, hydroxylysine, combined with the signaling properties of arginine and glycine, all together, these show that the collagen is a superior protein when it comes to building your collagen tissues.
Yes, very, very well stated. And then when we look at the 4th question, do I have to take a vitamin C and collagen at the same time? I think we've made a very strong case that is exactly essential, that it has to be done. And we showed several slides where we spoke about the cofactors, supportive nutrients, where vitamin C played an enormous role among the iron, copper, vitamin C, zinc, and manganese, right? And there was one slide where Dietrich showed the difference when a vitamin C is taking in itself, what it can actually do to the body, and what collagen with vitamin C is showing to do for the connective tissue health. So then, is there a difference between the different sources of collagen? Yes, there is. I think that it's a very good question that I'm being asked quite frequently, because the collagen sources of chicken, for example, is going to provide especially chicken cartilage, like the chicken feet and chicken neck, that's where collagen from chicken is usually taken from, it's going to provide you with type 2 collagen that is going to support the cartilage health. Whereas a source of beef, bison, or pork is going to, or fish, the same thing, it's going to provide you with the type 1, and very often type 1 is binded with collagen type 3. And as we showed that on one of the initial slides, every layer of the body is made of collagen, but there are also different parts, and 90% of the entire collagen and I would say connective tissue system really needs collagen type 1 especially, but that's the soft skeleton, right? But then when you look at the hard skeleton, which connective tissue is made of, the bones and cartilage, then you have to look also at the type 2, not only the type 1. So essentially you do need to gain collagen type 1, 2, and 3 from your diet or from the supplementation, because there is actually a difference what parts and what collagen sources different layers of the body really need. Do you need to add or want to add something, Dietrich, here?
No, the only thing I'd add is how excited I am for the really elegant research studies that are being conducted right now on exactly this, the differences between different types of collagen. So in the coming years, we'll see a lot more data, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, me too, because we know from Germany that there's actually some contradiction, and the scientists are saying that it's not the almost type 1, 2, or 3, but how much of that particular source is being utilized. And it sounds like the scientists in Germany and different parts of Europe are focusing on that. So I'm really excited to see what this will show, because so far, let's mention this again, and maybe I will take the opportunity to say it right now, almost by the end of the class, that if not most of the studies are done actually on a bovine collagen. Maybe just because its availability, but maybe also because the difference between the collagen type 1 and 3 for bovine is different than from fish sources. And I also addressed in one of my actual YouTube videos, really likable, and it seemed to engage a lot of questions, was why I'm not a big fan maybe of a fish, just because of what's happening with our water contamination and the blue and green algae, and how they impact different molecules that really can cause immune diseases. And unfortunately, supplement companies are not very rigoristic with the testing in itself, as we discussed this very briefly as well. That's why I'm very strict with how we test our ingredients and how our products are tested post-production, because during production, there could be contamination. And the same is with collagen. Collagen that is being made from bovine goes through really a lot of rigoristic, I would say, testing by specific, not all companies, I want to say it, and not from all sources. That's why you have to be very careful who you buy it from, and does the company test the product post-production? Because we know this, cows, pigs, and animals all together across the entire farms are treated differently by different people. And that's very important when then we are talking about extracting collagen from those animals, regardless from what parts of the body it comes from. So I want to put this into that. And the last, but definitely not least, but it's always a fun question to address, is there such a thing as vegan or vegetarian collagen? No, there is not. That's a very simple answer. I know it might be painful to say this to the vegan community. I'm a huge supporter of a vegan diet, but I also eat fish and I also make a bone broth. So I would say I'm not vegan, but I can say if you are eating all the cofactors, if you're eating proper, balanced diet of vitamins, minerals, that's fantastic. That will keep you definitely healthy, but that doesn't mean that you are capable of producing collagen within your body. Dietrich, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, I just have to stress, I am, 100% in the camp that a vegan and a vegetarian diet is going to be important moving forward for environmental reasons, for sustainability, for ethical reasons, and yet it's not suitable for everybody. I can speak from clinical experience as well as from my own personal experience, and I think you as well, Barbara. I was a vegetarian for a decade, and ultimately I had to stop it because the health effects just weren't positive for me. And so by incorporating sustainable grass-fed meats and collagen sources and truly optimizing my diet, my health has transformed. And so even if there is no such thing as a vegan collagen protein, being mindful of where you get your animal products can do a lot in terms of promoting the sustainability of our industry moving forward.
I agree. I couldn't agree more with you. And listen, with that being said, I think, Dietrich, we've done a fantastic job. And we thank everyone who has joined us. And if there are any additional questions, we are happy to take them now. So please write them in the chat box. We will be happy to address anything right now, as we really just have few minutes because we went over 1 hour. I just want to be gracious and give the opportunity. Nonetheless, we address a lot, and I think that we've addressed also the typical questions that we are hearing from people. So I don't see anything in the box. And in that case, I just want to thank everyone who joined us here today for your time and for your almost curiosity to learn more and to be able to support yourself and live healthier life. And I'm absolutely thanking you on behalf of entire Resync team. And I, of course, look forward to serving you in the more elaborated classes on connective tissue health. Dietrich, thank you so much for your assistance. You've been fantastic as always. It's my pleasure to have you here, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Wonderful. You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.